right, so we're heading out finally in the mid-afternoon.
Oh, it ain't mid-afternoon, doggone it. It's 9:30. Well, hold on. No, it's almost 10.
Yeah, we were supposed to be rolling about 9:15, 9:30.
Yeah, but it's like Alaska out here.
And we're dressed for it.
Yes, we are. And we fixing to go look at Port Mansfield's finest.
Hopefully we get on something. We got Joe and Emily and Everett and Pam here. We've been trying to get this trip together for a long time. And we finally come together, but of course the wind is bucking us a little bit.
When was the last time we did this, Wayne? Maybe 5 years ago?
In November.
Yeah, and it was raining that day.
All day.
Temperature was a little warmer, just the wind was about half the speed, and but it did drizzle and or flat out rain on us all day long.
All day.
And then what happened? Then we caught the living fire out of them.
We caught some good fish that day.
Yeah.
And, Everett got a name that particular day. He was identified as the fish Nazi.
The fish
Nazi. Because you'd work into this line of people and your cast would go right in the sweet spot.
Yeah, at the right angle along the ledge of this bar. And I would snake out a 6.5 pounder. And they're all looking at me like, why'd you do that? More importantly, how did you do that?
Well, yeah. But
oh, it was fun. We all caught nice fish. And I enjoyed it. And I'm glad to be here with Wayne and checking out what Port Mansfield got for us today. This is...
Now we are coming. Now today's the full moon. Can you cover the lunar stuff on that briefly?
Oh yeah. Okay, so full moon is weird, right? That's why we're doing this. We would have a moonset minor, maybe 6 a.m., something like that. And we'd get a little flurry of activity. More normal than that one because it's hard this time of year to fish that one. It's so early in the morning. Not many people want to fish it in the dark. So it's better to catch this major that is moon under. And that means moon over to the people on the other side of the earth. It works the exact same way. So we're hoping that like between 11 and 1, even though it's a little bit chilly, the fish are going to get their feed on, and we might be able to trick a few of them. That's the plan.
That's why it wasn't so critical that we get out real early today, because we knew it was going to be breezier in the morning, and we also knew that the wind was going to taper in the afternoon, coupled with the major.
Yes. And just happy to be here either. You know, win, lose, or draw.
Oh, yeah.
I've never had a bad day on the lower Laguna.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. And to be with Wayne and Pam and Joe and Emily, and we got Jimmy along.
Oh.
And, you know, it's going to be good. And we packed some lunch, and we're going to just go ahead and stay out here till we can't take it no more.
Yep, it's a recipe for success, one way or the other.
There you go, Wayne. There you go.
All right, well, let's hit it, and hopefully we get some good fish here shortly.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we got everybody spread out. The water temperature is 57 degrees, and we haven't seen any bait, but we're in an area where fish have been holding. They might have just slid off into a little bit deeper water. So we're going to fish this little lull up to a little ridge line, and hopefully we'll find them up there. If they're not there, it's a 30-minute spot. We're out. We're going to leave and make a short run. Wiggelos and Corkies are going to be on the menu. Topwater's probably not going to be the case. Too cold. Too cold. We got somebody working a color change out deep. We got Everett a little bit shallower. He's fishing a weedless application. And I'm going to fall in the middle, and we're just going to work up to that ridge and see if they're holding right off the side of it. Because right before the front hit, they were sitting right on top of it, and a lot of nice trout. So, like I say, just a little bit of time. Nobody's out here. It's super cold. It's a really good cold front. Water temperature 57, air temperature 57. So that's going to be our game plan.
Man, I was praying it was a trout when it hit.
Have any more hits?
Yeah, I had one. Oh, tightened up on him, fought him for 15 seconds. He pulled loose, but this was a strong bite. The other one was just barely a tap, and I might have been late with the hook set. But keep trying.
We finally walked up to that little area I was talking about. Everybody's hooking up. I think I got a pretty nice trout on. It's gonna come off right here. Yeah, good trout. Right where they were supposed to be, this northern. Right here, Jimbo. Heavy fish, not very long. Nice and chunky, beautiful December, late November trout. Of course, we know the drill here. I won't be able to boat grip it. Laying in these potholes off of that ridge. I think I'll be able to save it. Slow rolling these wiggelos. Oh, perfect. Slow rolling these wiggelos in these potholes, coming out of deep water up to a bar. And as I was fighting this fish, while Pam was fighting the fish out deeper off that point, this one hit. Bleeding a little bit. I'm gonna have to see how it works out. If not, we're gonna have to eat it tonight. But it got it down there in the gill. One of the gills, that barb penetrated it. So I don't know how it's gonna work, but we're gonna work with this fish just a little bit. Water temperatures are good and cold. This fish stopped bleeding. See if we can let it go. But they're right where they were supposed to be, and we're going to work this area pretty thoroughly. We've got like 2 more areas that we're going to work the same pattern on, and we're going to be working these patterns as this wintertime fishing settles in with us. So that's the game plan. Everybody's bundled up, slow rolling these wiggelos and corkies. That's what we're throwing, and we're starting to get into some fish despite the bad weather.
Son of a...
Little fish. First bite we've had, the second spot. Right where he's supposed to be, right up to that ridge. One tip I can tell you, keep your hands dry. In the wintertime, use a bogey grip. Nothing worse than wet hands in the winter. Use your pliers. This is a very unique example of a seagrass that is rooted on one end. You can see the white roots, and then it sends out this long runner, and all along the runner it puts off shoots where the blades of individual blades of the grass are. And this particular structure is a propagation by rhizome, kind of like a St. Augustine grass in your lawn. You see it puts off a long runner, and then the blades come up out of that runner. And this particular grass is Haley-dew, and it is very important to the foundation of the food chain here in the lower Laguna Madre. And this is why you don't want to run your prop down in the mud, because you're tearing this up. This is the foundation of our lower Laguna Madre food chain. Very important. And just saw this floating by and thought I'd pull it up and show it to you. So we just rolled back into the dock. We hit a couple more spots. Everything was looking right. Everything was looking right as far as the weather's concerned. Cloud cover, the wind never laid, and we had no warming trend. So we were kind of stuck with what we had. Looked good, but the water temperature never started to uptick. And once we got past that major feed that we talked about this morning, it was tough. We only maybe caught one or two more small fish after that. But what was funny was the pelicans were just diving in front of us. We went back to our first spot. The pelicans started diving. Any moment we thought we were going to get connected, nothing. Most of our fish came on soft plastics today. Joe had a couple on a corky. One nice trout was caught, quite a few reds, some small trout, but it didn't kick off other than that little window during the major feed, like noon or 11 to 1 o'clock or so. We got tomorrow yet, so we're going to give it another run tomorrow, and if we can just see the water temperature coming up a little bit. It actually cooled like half a degree. We ended up in the 57, 58 range, and I was hoping to see like a 60-degree water temperature range, but hopefully tomorrow. So that's our game plan, and this is a good front, and so this is going to kick him off. We get a good trout, it's going to be a heavy one.